All right, so we're back. The squad is all here. We're starting. Uh, we're gonna have a little two-part, I guess you could call it. We're doing NBA All-Star snubs, and then we're gonna do Super Bowl predictions. So I can't remember who went first last time.
I think it's did. Yeah, probably Casey.
Okay, Casey, you want to go first again, or one of y'all wants to go first? All right.
I'll go. Do y'all want to start with the Super Bowl? Like, which one y'all want to do?
Let's start with All Stars.
Okay, so for the starters, we have KD, Giannis, Joel, Trae Young, and DeMar. I like the starting. I like the starting lineup. I'm glad DeMar made it because we all know he's been balling out this year. But reserve-wise, I think Darius Garland definitely deserves it. First-time All-Star. I really don't have a problem with the East, in my opinion. So that's all I got for the East. If one of y'all want to do the East, y'all can go.
All right, Gavin Keller.
I think the only thing I changed probably Chris, but the main thing about All-Star Weekend, in itself, is just make the six position, because it's so stupid how you have to have two guards, two forwards, one wild card. It's just be the best 13 players from each conference.
For sure.
I like that.
LaMelo in there, Hilton, but
yeah.
I do want to say Miles
Yeah,
Bridges also has been balling out, so I like to put his name out there.
Bridges got swag.
Bridges
got
swag.
For sure. All right, Keller, what do you think the East? Or go ahead.
It's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
Keller, what do you got?
I think for the starters, they got the right guys, but for the reserves, I think it's kind of dumb, and there's not any big men. It's all guards and forwards, which, if they're the best players, I see that. As Casey leaves. Okay, I see how...
Facts.
I see how just having 13 players doesn't matter about the positions helps, but, the NBA is going positionless. But for snubs, I think there are a bunch of guys from the East you could put in there. Like they said, LaMelo, Miles Bridges, both been balling out.
Jeff Brown.
But I would probably take out Middleton and Garland just because I don't feel like they've even been, the best on their team. Put in people like Drew Holiday and Jared Allen.
Respectable. I think Garland should be, and I'm a big Chris Middleton fan, but I don't know. I don't know if this is definitely not his best year. I guess you say. I don't know.
I feel like he's in just off a reputation.
Yeah, for sure. I don't really have a problem with the East. There's definitely some problems with the West, I have to say. I think we all probably have a little bit more to say about the West. So, Kaysen, you want to say something about the West? Start us off.
Okay. Something about the East I want to add. I do think Garland deserves it, but I don't know if he necessarily needs to be a... Oh, wait. He's a reserve, my bad. But I think
he's a reserve.
I'm glad it's him. But yeah, what y'all said about Chris Middleton, I think... I'm just adding on to that real quick. I think LaMelo, I think he statistically had better stats than him, but like Keller said, just kind of what he's done in the past probably. That's why he made it. But anyways, for the West, obviously the captain's LeBron, and then Jokic, Wiggins, Curry, and Morant. I'm glad to see Andrew Wiggins there, but I do not think he's an all-star. I just want to say that real quick. Wiggins, Andrew, he's a baller, but I think you can probably put Devin Booker in his spot, but I just want to say DeJounte Murray got snubbed hard. I'd like to say that too. So that's all I got for right now.
For sure. All right, Gavin?
Yeah, I definitely agree with DeJounte Murray. That's what I'd say. And, of course, Andrew Wiggins, maybe not even an all-star, let alone a starter.
Agreed.
Draymond Green, definitely controversial. I don't know. His impact definitely is all-star level, but, he's always just been right around the place, hasn't had the statistics to back it up, but overall, I think selections this year are pretty good, but I wouldn't really make much changes with it. Besides that, DeJounte.
All right, Keller.
Okay, so I think that for the West, they picked all the right guys. I mean, there's an argument to be made if Wiggins should be a starter or not, but I will die on the hill saying that he is an all-star this year. I mean, he's averaging 18 points on 49 and 41 splits. Been amazing. His defense is so underrated, and he's just been so talented for so long, and he's finally found a place where he can show it. So I still think that he's a starter. I can see putting, like, Luka in at that spot. That's probably the only person I can see moving up. And then for snubs, I think DeJounte Murray deserves to play in the All-Star game. But I can't really see him put over anybody. But since Draymond Green is sitting out, I think he'll take that spot.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, I mean, y'all know me. I love Luka. Big Mavs fan. And there's no question he's better than Wiggins. Like, there's no question.
Agreed.
But he hasn't had a great year, Luka. And Wiggins is having a really good year. So I can see that. But would you guys say that maybe Steph Curry is also kind of in their own reputation? I mean, he's had some great performances for sure, but he has been falling off lately. Like, I think you could say maybe he's just in there for kind of off his reputation as well. I'm happy to see Ja there. I'm a pretty big Ja fan. Happy to see him there, and obviously Jokic should be there. I can honestly, I agree with what you said about Draymond for sure. I feel like either Devin Booker or Chris Paul probably should have been there though. Like, I feel like those two could definitely, one of them could certainly have moved up just because of the year that they're both having. And I mean, I agree with Keller. They picked all the right people. I just don't know if they did it in the right order. That's how I would put it. But and I also agree the front court stuff and the position, like, there are no positions anymore, so why are we having to put people in the starting lineup like that? That doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know. I love Luka. He's missed a lot, but you see, Kason, there's this thing, when you're doing this, you got to have the notice how me, Keller, and Gavin all against walls. You have a door.
Definitely not against the wall.
Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the West. Anybody got anything else they want to add?
I'll go ahead.
Hold on.
I think, I mean, I love Shea, but obviously I just want to point that out. He's had not necessarily an off year, but off with his percentages and been injured for a decent portion of the year. And I'd like to make being there, your fan, but he just doesn't deserve it this year.
Yeah, Shea will be there one day, for
How
sure.
many games are Grant missed? I feel like I haven't even seen him play this year.
He's missed a lot.
I know I think he had a triple-double earlier this year. I could be wrong, but that's like all I've heard about him.
The only thing I remember of Shea this year is when he hit the game winner against the Lakers.
Yeah.
That was cold.
Yeah.
But is Jaren Jackson Jr. an all-star?
No.
They need to get that boy Trey J in there. I'm changing my mind. I think he should be in for Draymond.
Yeah, I think he's missed some time, though, so I don't know. And he's been like,
But has he missed more than Draymond, though?
I don't know.
Because I feel like that's the main argument, is that he's actually played and Draymond hasn't. So
yeah, I do still like that Draymond's in there though. He's really good on defense.
I like how Draymond, like, I guess like Keller said earlier, like his recognition, like he finally gets it, like he deserved it, but you can't just say that about everybody. That's like, I could throw in like a 40-year-old Vince Carter and be like, oh, well, he needs to be an all-star one more time. You know what I'm saying? But I like how they did. Because I'm not really a big Warriors fan, but I do like how they like finally gave him his recognition. I don't know if like necessarily this year could have been the year to do it for him.
True.
I think
True.
like probably like our older would be better, but still I like the recognition, so I got to respect that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I even would go so far as to say that Draymond is obviously having an off year, but I feel like he probably deserves being an All-Star more than Steph. And that's probably a hot take, but look at Draymond's having an off year. He hasn't played a lot. But Curry is not where he needs to be as
People
far
are
as
saying MVP candidate this year. He's not. I just want to say that too.
No,
yeah,
he's not an
I
MVP
mean,
candidate.
he's not. And I feel like the only reason he's even talked about is just because he's Steph Curry, because he has the name.
He's
And I
shooting
feel
like out here, bro. He's been shooting terrible recently.
yeah, exactly. And so I mean, obviously he's a great player, one of the best point guards, and you know he's definitely a generational talent and all that. Definitely changed the game, but at this year, it's like we're talking about. Like this year, I don't really know if he deserves to be a starter. I mean, he's got to be there. You do have to look at people's reputation too. I feel like to an extent, but you can't. When it comes down to it, and you look at these other people that are having better years in the year, I think you have to give it to the people who are having the best year at the time. And so I think Steph Curry should probably be an all-star, but maybe not necessarily a starter.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if Curry wasn't a starter, I don't think people would be upset because he's still an all-star. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think there could be levels to it.
I think as long as there's fan voting, Curry's always going to be a starter.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it too.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know. I feel like we should have fan voting, but I feel like it should be at a lesser percent because
yes, exactly.
that goes in with so a lot of Warriors fans had voted Wiggins and Draymond, which we can see that obviously, but like we said earlier, Draymond probably doesn't need it, and then Wiggins could be an all-star, but definitely not a starter.
Yeah, and I think if you look at all of us, like we're pretty serious fans, especially for our respective teams, the Rockets, Mavs, or Thunder. Like we're gonna follow them, but we're all pretty big. Like we follow the league pretty close too. Like we know what's going on, and I feel like the majority of people who vote are just like the casual fans. And they're gonna know the Steph Currys, the LeBrons. They're gonna know all them. They're not necessarily gonna know the Draymonds. They might not know Donovan Mitchell. They might not know those people. And like, no offense to Gavin or the Thunder, but if you look at a team like the Lakers, their fan vote. I mean, they just have so much bigger fan base than a team like OKC. Mm-hmm. Nothing against OKC, but the Lakers just have a bigger fan base. There's more people there to vote. And so that's not to say that the players are better or anything. It's just when you put that much percentage to the fan voting, there's gonna be things like this happen where the teams that maybe don't have as big a fan base, they get snubbed out of an all-star. And I'm not trying to say, because I like Shea, and I'm just using him as an example. I think he'll be there one day. I don't think this year was his year, but going forward, I feel like he's going to get snubbed because he doesn't have the fan base and because the fan voting. And even people in bigger cities, or even if he does have a fan base, the casual fan is not going to know who he is. So they're not going to vote for him. And I think that fan voting has its place, but like Kason said, definitely should not be as high a percent as it is.
Yeah. I saw, like, when All-Star voting first started, I know that Klay Thompson, like, hadn't even played yet, and he was, like, top 3. So, like,
yeah.
I'm kind of glad I didn't see him being somebody else's spot. Like if he would have took Chris Paul's spot, I probably would have been upset by that. But since he's not there, I can't be mad,
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like the amount of games you miss and the amount of games you miss has to play a part of it. Like we said, like Draymond didn't play a lot, or he's missed a lot of time. And he's still an all-star, so I think that needs to be into a bigger perspective as well. So,
yeah.
But still.
Yeah, with all that being said, I'm just glad that people like Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis, with as bad as the season they've been having just because their names didn't get voted in.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I do have to say,
For
though,
sure.
Westbrook at the beginning of the season was terrible, but he hasn't been balling out as of late. Like, he just had 40 of the night against, I forgot who it was. But, like, it was, like, the most points by a Laker in one half since Kobe. So I'd have to say Russell Westbrook's definitely been stepping it up. Not necessarily have that perspective that he sucks this year, but I'm glad he's stepping it up. And Anthony Davis, he just can never stay healthy. So he's kind of like a hit or miss.
Glass bones.
True.
Like I saw something where he was one half, he had like a whole wrap around his hand and played like, I couldn't remember if it was like the next game or like a quarter later. Like, it either hurts or it doesn't, you know? Like, come on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like if being a big man, this kind of goes to what we were talking about earlier with the positions don't exist in the NBA anymore. But I feel like if you're a big man, like, you're gonna inherently, like, you're gonna take a beating if you're a big man down there on the block getting boards and stuff. When you're as big as he is, he needs to be playing down on the block. So
Yeah.
I feel like you know, on one hand, like, he's gonna get injured, but you know, what can you do?
Hey, Randy.
Hey, what's up, man? I just finished my 12 o'clock, so I got 30 minutes without a call.
I'll be out there when you wrap
But I
up.
should be done pretty quick. All right, man.
Love
What
it.
a first!
I think.
What a first for Sounds for the Sideline. D. Randy. Yeah, that part's not getting edited out. I don't care. But yeah, I'd have to say, like I understand if he was getting hurt. You know, I don't believe he's really hurt, you know, half the time, to be honest with you. But, like, it'd be one thing if he was playing on the block and, like, getting all those boards and stuff, but he doesn't play like a big man. So I just don't understand how he's getting hurt. But, yeah, I'm glad to see that he's not on there, for sure.
And he's missed some time as well, so.
Yeah, he has missed.
And I know
Definitely
it's not running long, but does anybody know what happened to Bradley Beal? I hadn't heard nothing about him this year.
The Wizards been,
this year.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He's gotten hurt on and off, just day-to-day injuries, but he's been playing for the most part.
Yeah. He's big respect for him, for sure. What are you saying, Gavin?
The Wizards are right around the play-in. They can still make it right now, but I think they're 3 games off. Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
It's that boy Kuzma.
I think Kuzma's been outplaying him, if you just think about it.
Kuzma,
Yeah,
he's been really good.
for sure.
Him and
But,
who's all over
good.
there in Washington? It's like
they like Montrezl.
that was in LA. It was Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell, I want to say, maybe.
I can't stand Montrezl Harrell, bro.
I think he's over there in Washington.
He is.
But yeah, do y'all think that there's any, like, teams that have just, I guess, like, almost like sleeper teams maybe that have someone that didn't get picked, or maybe 2 or 3 people that didn't get picked and just didn't get picked because they're on a certain team?
I think that goes with the DeJounte Murray, because the Spurs are like a lot of games under 500, but he's still been playing like an all-star, you know. So I can follow in what
You
he's
can
saying.
say the same about Miles Bridges. I mean, I don't know so much about Melo just because he's big time anyway, but because they're on the Hornets, definitely had a part in why they're not all stars.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd say probably Jaylen Brown, because the Celtics are the 9th seed right now. And usually they're getting a lot of recognition, but Jaylen Brown's been going under the radar this year.
That's who I thought of.
Yeah. Also, we already said Bradley Beal. Did Julius Randle even make it this year?
He's been
No.
playing. As of late, he's not been playing good as of late.
Domantas Sabonis, people always hate on him. I think he's still a solid, like, just right around the All-Star. Not yet there, but he could, like, be maybe like an injury. Then Brandon
Just
Ingram.
talking about the Pacers, shout out Lance Stevenson real quick.
For sure.
Them?
Lance Stevenson's been one of the best bench players since he got picked up by the Pacers.
For sure. Do you think maybe Karis LeVert could have made a reserve?
I'm constantly balling like I'm Carson LeVert.
I don't think he's going to make it this year, but I think like eventually make it just because he's beginning of the year with that injury or his kidney or whatever it was from last year.
Yeah. I think if he wasn't hurt and he's played all that time, I think he could have made a reserve.
I just looked up
sure.
I looked up his stats, and he's averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. It's kind of like
it's on the line.
Kind of around like Wiggins, I want to say. I think he's averaging something like that.
Yeah, I mean
18, 4, and 2.
Yeah, so I like Karis LeVert. I think he's really underrated. I just threw that out there because I speaking of underrated guys, and also he's playing for the Pacers, so
yeah,
I'm sure that doesn't help him getting recognition. But yeah, I thought I went to the Celtics with Gavin. That was kind of who I thought, and I don't want to get too much into this because I want to do a separate episode on this maybe later. But how do y'all feel about De'Aaron Fox?
I like him. I think underappreciates him.
Yeah, he has not had an All-Star year. I'm not trying to say that, but I think he's had an All-Star year before and has gotten snubbed.
Yeah.
Not an idea. I haven't really heard much about him this year, so I can't really say anything.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but that goes to like the small market thing.
Yeah,
Since he plays for the Kings.
We need that would be a good episode to have, like the smaller market teams, kind of discuss about them. But that'll be I'll have to look into that. Might have to set something up like that. But he's someone who I think plays at a consistently plays at a high level, but just has never gotten recognition. Granted, he is having an off year by his standards, but I think he's still probably putting up the same numbers that Wiggins is. So I don't know. I wasn't trying to say he was an all-star this year. I was just wondering what y'all's opinion on that might be.
I think he's missed some time too. I don't know. Probably just something that.
Yeah, I think he's missed a little. Yeah, but yeah, I think. Yeah, overall, I think we're all okay. For the most part, we're okay with all the selections.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think there's always going to be like 1 or 2 people that are controversial.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think that kind of happens every year. So
yeah,
for sure.
I can't say a call from Detroit Moore, but cannot answer that.
Facts.
I just want to point out that Dame make it this year, which I don't think he should have. He's been hurt for a good bit, but that should.
Did you say
Dame
Dollar? Yeah, he's been hurt a lot.
And
do y'all think
it's funny you said that because I was just about to say something about him.
Do y'all think that aside from the time that he's been hurt, do y'all think that the games that he's played, he just hasn't seemed? Obviously he's had some great games, but because he's Dame. But do y'all think he's seemed a little off this year too?
Yeah,
probably a little bit. Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know, it's kind of off topic, kinda. But people like CJ McCollum, those are always those borderline all-star people, good second options. I think that kind of falls in with Wiggins. Obviously Curry's going to be the main option over there, and he's kind of the second option. I guess Clay is now. But put in perspective, we got Curry first option, Clay the second. Now we got Wiggins, who is the third option, making the All-Star game. That just goes to show you that I guess any second option can also make the All-Star game. Kind of goes with the Utah duo and the Milwaukee duo. I think if McCollum had a good year, him and Dame could both make it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. for sure, and I think CJ's been snubbed a time or two before. I don't really necessarily think either of them should have made it this year. Like we said, Dame's been hurt a lot, but I don't think CJ's played good enough to get it this year either. But I agree with you 100% that they could definitely both do it, and I think they definitely both have done it, and they just both haven't gotten in.
Yeah.
The only person that, like, Wiggins is the only person that I have a legitimate problem with, just because I just flat out don't think he's there. I mean, you can make the argument that Luka should be starting. You can make the argument that Chris Paul should be starting. I mean, you can make the arguments there, but I don't have that big a problem with it because they're still all-stars, like you said, Kason. I mean, they are still voted all-stars, but I don't think Wiggins should be a starter, and I could probably make the case that he shouldn't be there at all. But I mean, he's definitely put in the work. Not to take anything away from him necessarily, but I just don't think he should be there.
The boy Wiggins so slept on. Finally breaking out.
I mean, you know,
I don't know. I
He
feel
just
like he's also doing the same thing. I feel like he's also doing the same thing in Minnesota, but now that he's in a bigger role.
yeah, that's exactly what I think. And I think that he had better years in Minnesota. To be honest, statistically, I think he's had better years, but he was in Minnesota, so there's he's not going to get the votes. But I mean, nothing against him for sure, but I just don't think of all the years, like I just don't think this is his all-star year. But I mean, they voted him in, so good for him, I guess. But anybody have anything else they want to say before we move on to Super Bowl?
Yeah, I got
just quickly, I want to say that I'm glad that D-Book and Cat are both finally getting the respect they deserve.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I got one.
Collins has been one of those more underrated players this year. Just like the stats he's been putting up, like obviously he's in Minnesota, so it's not like a bigger franchise, but I do think like the way he's been playing deserves a bit of recognition as well.
All right, Gavin.
All right, so I was talking about the Pelicans earlier, or about Brandon Ingram earlier on the Pelicans, and I think one person that slips past really be all-star is Jonas Valanciunas. This year he's averaging 18 points per game, 12 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and the biggest thing is that he's shooting 40% from three, big man, which is just not talked about at all. The only person to do that is probably Cat, and I think he even has a better three-point percentage than Cat right now. So I think he definitely could have been over Draymond. If Wiggins wasn't a starter, then he could have been over Wiggins. There's definitely an argument there. He has pretty similar stats to Rudy Gobert, but obviously Rudy Gobert has the steals and blocks to go with it because he's such a great defender. But Jonas Valanciunas, like we were talking about earlier, just definitely one of those examples. And I think in the future he might make it, but he's kind of getting, not necessarily old, but slipping out of his prime. So if there's a time that he should make the All-Star game, it has to be this next couple of years.
Yeah.
I think he can fall under the categories like those borderline players, like we said.
Yeah.
Like, there's always those players that we know are all-stars that can be all-star caliber, but I think there's also those players that, like, at times they have flashes of, like, they may be an all-star, at flashes they just play like they're just like a bench player. So it kind of depends on, like, the year they're having, honestly.
I think Valanciunas is. I think he's definitely all-star caliber for sure, especially this year.
Right now?
Do I?
Under the radar.
Who's he playing for now?
Pelicans.
Yeah, Pelicans.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But I also think that this kind of gets back to, do you think maybe he's not necessarily getting the votes because he's kind of more of a traditional big man?
No.
I just think he doesn't get the recognition.
I think that, and honestly, he just probably isn't an all-star if you just, like, if I hear Jonas Valanciunas, I just think of big white dude with a beard. That's a big dude. So that's just what I really about it.
True. I mean, I do think he's an all-star. He's having an all-star year for sure. I think he's very underrated, as far as just his whole career. But like we talked about, he is in New Orleans. Another guest appearance I see we have here.
He wanted to say hey, so.
We'll just see it. But yeah, I think number one, he's in New Orleans, so he's not necessarily going to have the fan base. And number two, I think he's not like a flashy player either. Like if you look at all the people in the All-Star game right now, they're all to some extent, they're either going to shoot the lights out or have the chase down blocks, or they're going to be doing they're going to be doing the crazy dunks, or they're going to do all three, depending on who it is. I mean, it's just the NBA's now to the point where it's all about making it look good. I feel like, and that's not like necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of like
good, play good.
I mean, yeah, to an extent, but you at the end of the night, you got to have those people like Jonas, sitting down on the block, being a threat in the paint, getting the boards, getting the blocks, in the paint presence, and is he a guy that every year is going to be an all-star? No. Is he a guy that has probably had some all-star years and gotten snubbed? Probably. I think this year's one of them. And I think he's definitely underrated as far as his entire career goes. But I think he's also kind of like what Casey was saying. He has flashes. He has seasons where he's making a really good, or at least what, in my opinion, I think he's making a really good all-star run. And then, he'll kind of not have such a great year or go through, several stretches where he's not that, I mean, he's still good, but he's maybe not that all-star level good. But yeah, I agree with what Gavin said there for sure.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're always going to have guys like that just because of how talented NBA is now.
Yeah, for sure.
I like Charles Tucker off the bench.
Yes.
Facts. We're going to have to get Charles on here at some point.
Facts.
For sure. I'm thinking I just set up everything for in my room. We're trying to get set up to where I'm about to buy a couple of good mics, with stands and everything. And I'm thinking about setting up some in my room to where y'all can all come over and we can hit record and all be on one camera, but have the mics and everything. So I'll let y'all know.
Very down to do
That'd be fire.
Yeah, I'll let y'all know when I get all that stuff ready. The room and everything, I rearrange everything. I guess we should say to the fan base, all 12 subscribers of y'all. Right now, it's an ice storm going on. I don't know about y'all's house, but I had a little bit of snow. Mostly a lot of ice.
We had a little bit.
But spent all day yesterday cleaning, rearranging the room, got everything set up. So the studio ready. Now we got to get some equipment in, but we'll work on that later. But anybody have anything else before we move on to the NFL?
That's honestly all I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was good for sure. All right. So right quick now, Super Bowl. So not necessarily the outcome I think very many people thought was going to happen, but I'm not mad at it. I like both teams for sure. I think we'll talk a little bit more about that. But first, let's give picks. Kason, who do you have?
Okay, so like you just said, I'm not mad at who was there. Obviously, I'm a Cardinals fan, so obviously it hurt to see the Rams beat us, but I'm not mad because the teams that are in the Super Bowl, probably both teams, from the beginning of the year, always had that chance to make it, so I can't be mad. Okay, so what I wrote down here, I have the Bengals 31, Rams 27. And for some stats I wrote down, I think Burrow is going to throw 3 touchdowns. I think Chase is going to catch 2. I think Jason's going to catch 2 of them, and Higgins a T, one of the most underrated players in the league, will catch 1. I think Stafford's going to throw 3 as well, but I think Cooper's going to catch 2 and Odell's going to catch 1. But I don't think the running game's going to be a big factor in the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be over who can throw the ball the most, because the Bengals O-line is like the White Roughnecks O-line. It's not going to do good here, no matter what you do. So I do want to say that's what all I got. I got Bengals 31, Rams 27. I think it'll come down to the wire.
All right. Keller?
He is his dog.
Keller?
I ain't got all the stats and everything, but I think the Rams are.
Rams? Okay.
Yeah, just
Gavin?
that defense.
Yeah. Gavin?
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams. I mean, both teams are fun to watch. I love watching the Bengals, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow, even T. Higgins, fun to watch sometimes. I know he had that one game where he got like 50 fantasy points. The Rams are just, overall, they have a much better team. I don't think that the Bengals was saying that.
For sure. That's kind of how I feel. I think the Rams defense is probably up there with the best defense in the league, especially now that they've got Von Miller. I mean, they got one of the best corners in the league. They've got probably the best defensive line in the league. Donald, Floyd, and now Von Miller.
They'll definitely cause a problem.
And you know, all respect to Joe Burrow, I think he's going to be great. And I really like him. I like watching him play. But I think you know, Von Miller and Donald for sure. I mean, Von Miller off the edge, one of the best there is. And I just don't know if that line. I think it's more about the line than it is Joe Burrow, to be honest with you. To give the short answer, I think that the Rams are going to win, but I'm going to say give me the Bengals because I'm pulling for Joe Burrow. But that being said, I'm happy for whoever wins. Matthew Stafford, and I saw this today before we started filming, he's not doing anything different. He is the exact same quarterback playing the exact same style he has always done. He's just not in Detroit.
But
And so, you know, I'm happy for him. I like Cooper Kupp. He's having a crazy year.
Triple Crown.
You know, yeah. I think you know, I don't like Odell, but you know that I can get past that. The Bengals, you know, I'm pulling for them because I feel like they're kind of an underdog. So I do think the Rams are going to win this though, but I'm pulling for the Bengals for sure. I don't have any of the stats either. Boy, Kaysen came prepared.
Always.
But Kaysen, what do you have? Do you have anything else to say just about the game or the factors, anything?
I have Mixon for 87 rushing yards. I have Akers for 60. Like I said, I don't think the rushing game is going to be a big thing. I think Burrow's going to be running for his life because Donald of Aaron, he's not strong as me, but like he's really strong. So like, usually, like when I compare people's strength to me, I just think of them like a little bit weaker than me because like that's how it is for everybody. But when I think about pure strength and muscle, I just like look in the mirror. I'm like, oh, that dude, you know, that dude's got some strength. But when I look at Aaron Donald, I think he's like tries to be like me. So that's why I'm going for the Bengals. And that's all I gotta say. This is going to be Joe Burrow. It's going to be on that cigar. You already know. LSU dog. That's going to be the Bengals, baby. Homie. Wacky league. LSU dog. But yeah, that's all I got.
That's crazy. All right, Keller, you have anything else to say about it?
Basically, I think the Rams are going to win. Don't really know if it's going to be that close. You know, that Rams defense is just too good. They're going to have Jalen Ramsey to get one-on-one with Jamar Chase. Yeah, but they're going to have Jalen Ramsey on Jamar Chase. That's going to be a great matchup. But then they have the best front seven in the league. It's not even close. And then you saw what, one of the best defenses in the league, like the Titans, got 9 sacks against them, and they only put up 19 points. That's not going to be enough against the Rams offense. And with that pass rush, since Aaron Donald is on the inside, I could see Von Miller and Leonard Floyd putting up stats. So they could both be the Super Bowl MVP, I think. It's going to be one of those two. And then, the Rams offense just does everything.
I do want to say something. I feel like if anybody watched the other game against the Rams and 49ers almost beat the Rams. I want to say that they can be vulnerable at times because I think it all depends on Matthew Stafford as well. Like, if they would have caught that interception, I think the 49ers probably would have scored again and then probably would have been over. But, I think Matthew Stafford at times shows that he's a veteran quarterback and knows what he's doing. But also he has those times to where, you can beat him. So I think the Bengals defense stepped up last game with the interception from Mahomes. If the Bengals defense can do that again, I really do think they have a chance of beating them.
Yeah, Stafford definitely takes a lot of risks, but I think he's so underrated as a quarterback because you see this year with Cooper Kupp, one of the best receiving seasons of all time, and probably the only other receiving season that even compares with it is, I think it was 2011, Calvin Johnson. Both of them had Matthew Stafford thrown to him, and that's just something that nobody really talks about.
Yeah,
agreed.
For sure.
So he'll make those risks, but most of the time they'll pay off.
Yeah. Gavin, what do you have?
I like Color touched on most of it. Same Cason. The dogs make me mad.
Gavin's being attacked right now.
Gavin's about to initiate Michael Vick mode.
No, I agree.
It's like Scooby-Doo. Let me see him again. Yeah, he's just like a younger version of Scooby-Doo.
Facts.
Scooby-Doo.
I think you have to look at this too. Matthew Stafford, okay, he is a veteran quarterback, but he has no he doesn't have playoff experience either.
Pushing P.
I mean, yeah, and I love Matthew Stafford. I'm happy for him. Glad he's not in Detroit anymore. Like I said, he's not doing anything different. He's he's the same player. But to Case's point, the 49ers are honestly a better team than people give them credit for.
Facts. Or their record.
They did beat them boys.
They beat them boys. I'm not saying that just because of that. They weren't a good team, but they caught a good streak. I mean, they went off. They were all playing really good
at the right time.
Yeah, at the right time, which just happens sometimes. Look at the Eagles. Eagles had no business winning that championship. No business. But they, everything just clicked. And sometimes that just happens in sports. Facts. But, I think, I feel like the Bengals kind of fall into that. Things are really just kind of clicking now for them. But at the same time, there's something to be said for just the amount of just star power that the Rams have, I mean, kind of like what we're talking about, with casual fans and people like us who follow it. We can name pretty much everybody on both teams. The casual fan, they're going to know most of the people on the Rams. I mean, they're going to know pretty much the whole defense. They're going to know Matt Stafford, they're going to know all that. They're going to know Cooper Kupp. They're going to know Odell. The average fan, the casual fan, they're not going to know. They're going to know Joe Burrow. They might know Jamar, but they're not going to know anyone else.
Like Keller said, they won't know people like Leonard Floyd or people like Eli Apple on the Bengals.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. They won't know
Apple's getting burnt like toast, bro.
But yeah, I think that's part of it too. But I'm just glad to see a Super Bowl without Tom Brady, to be honest with y'all.
And
Shout out Tom
no
Brady, bro.
more Super Bowls with Tom Brady.
Y'all really think he's quitting?
He'll come
Yeah,
back.
he's done. Oh, he's done.
I think
His wife so
yeah, I think it would be such a Tom Brady thing to do, to be like, somebody leaked it, so now I'm not quitting. Like I think he fully was ready to quit, but it's like, oh, somebody leaked it? No, I'm not quitting now. I'm going out on my own terms. And that he's gonna come back and win the Super Bowl. Like, that would just be such a Tom Brady thing to do.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's gonna be a good game, I think.
Yeah, if you have any two teams that are good enough to get past all the teams they have to get to the Super Bowl, it's always going to be a good game.
Yeah, for sure. Some great weekend, just like total weekends. I don't know how much of the past few weekends y'all have watched the games. I know, like, the weekend with like the Bills and the Chiefs. It was like Bills and the Chiefs, 49ers and Green Bay, and someone else. Oh, Tampa Bay and Rams. Yeah, I watched all three of those games, all great games down to the end. And I still think that the Bills should have won that game. They definitely won. The Chiefs won that on a coin toss. So,
I mean, you can say that the coin toss plays a big part of it, but you saw the Chiefs win the coin toss in the Bengals Chiefs game, but
yeah, exactly.
defense didn't step up.
True.
Do y'all think they should change the overtime rules? Like, what do y'all think?
I think so.
I think they need to go away with the coin toss, make it rock, paper, scissors.
Facts. No, I think
it's not your
go
fault.
ahead. Yeah, no, I think that, especially in NFL playoffs, you just need whoever got the ball at half, or you can even do the coin toss. I just think you put 15 minutes on the clock and you play it out, and whoever is winning at the end wins. So, and then if it's tied at that in the playoffs, go to another. Put 12 minutes on the clock and play it out. That's how I think it should be done. But it's for sure in the pros and playoffs. Now maybe, in regular season, obviously you can have ties and stuff, but I don't like the playoff rule as it is now. But to Keller's point, Chiefs won the coin toss and still lost, so it can be done for sure. But I don't think there's any doubt that if the Bills get the ball back, they're going down and scoring too.
Yeah, nobody's stopping. Neither defense stopping either team. In that situation.
Exactly. So, but definitely some. If you just look at the playoff bracket before it started, you would not have expected these teams to be there.
No. I mean, me and Kaysen both went through a playoff bracket. I mean, he expected the Bengals to be there, but mine...
Because of Joe Burrow.
Just want to say, did have the Bengals going to the Super Bowl, so...
He did have the Bengals.
He did. But
at the beginning of the season, I said the Rams, but gave up on it real quick.
Yeah, I
them all the way.
To be honest, I didn't think the Rams would get it this year until they added Von Miller, and then even then I was like, oh well, they're going to be a tough team to beat now, but didn't really have them going all the way.
Yeah.
But adding that for sure helps them out a lot, I think, because you've got the inside. You got inside with Aaron Donald. You've got the edge rushers. You got Von Miller and you got Floyd. And then obviously when you got a corner like Jalen Ramsey, I mean, it's going to be tough. But I think it's going to come down to Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow can get the offense going, then it's going to be a game. But if they come out, and Joe Burrow just can't get anything, because it'd be one thing if they just had that line, but then you've got to worry about having a ball hawk go up and pick the ball like Jalen Ramsey. You know, I
He
mean
shuts
that's
down like a
just
whole half of the field.
yeah, and so that just makes it even harder, and it's going to be a tough game, but I think it's going to be a good game.
I also think the Bengals can't settle for field goals. I think they need to
Right.
they have to score. They can't settle for field goals. I mean, they can't always rely on that because I know they did that honestly kind of did that in a lot of games, just playoff games this year.
They scored like one touchdown against the Titans, I think.
That boy
And,
Evan McPherson,
Yeah, I mean,
kicker is elite.
yeah, I mean, you can't, you certainly, I mean, anytime you can come away with points, you can't be all that mad because at least you put points on the board, but you can't go up there, you can't drive the length of the field, get stopped at the 20 and hit a chip shot field goal every time. I mean, it gets to a point where you just can't do that anymore, and you cannot do that in the Super Bowl. So, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a good game. So,
Yes.
We'll see about that. Anybody got anything else they want to add?
Only thing I got. What do y'all think the chances is they say something about Harambe?
Oh, if they do not say something about Harambe, I'll be very upset.
Yeah, I think if Harambe is brought up, that dramatically increases Bengals' chances of winning.
For sure.
Harambe is a Cincinnati legend.
For sure.
He is the Cincinnati legend.
I think they need to break out to Harambe.
Yes.
I really do miss my boy Harambe, man.
Facts. Rest in peace. Gone too soon. No, I don't know. We're just gonna have to see. I'm getting excited for it for sure.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, we'll have to talk about these NBA playoffs because they're coming up quicker than we think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll have to be in the next episode.
Can't wait for the Mavs to be out in the first round.
Our next episode could be about the Super Bowl, and then it could be like our NBA something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking maybe I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna try and order the mics and stuff probably today, and depending on how fast they get there, we can work out doing our first on location,
like live one.
Yeah, and which I'm looking forward to that. And maybe hopefully we'll probably have to do the Super Bowl one before that, but hopefully the finals, or not the finals, the NBA playoffs one will be before that. So
yeah, we'll have
to work some stuff out there, but the podcast is coming together. So that's always starting from the bottom. I mean,
we're starting from the bottom. We're like here. Like we need to be up here, you know?
Yeah, I mean we're like here. We need to be up here. So
we only come up.
Let's get in there though. But yeah. So thank y'all for joining us on Sounds from the Sideline. We've got the squad here. Everybody sign off. I got your boy Gavin. Got your boy Kaysen. Got your boy Keller. All right. Sounds from the Sideline signing off. Episode 2. Later.